This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
We begin tonight at 7 o'clock with a safety concern for drivers in Muncie. People living next to an excavation business want the business owner to stop pumping water onto a busy road.
RTV6 is working for you, getting answers. Tonight, our Nicole Griffin spoke with the business owner to find out why he's doing this and getting answers from the city after neighbors filed complaints.
Well, when the road freezes, it becomes a solid sheet of ice. And so we have school buses, we have commuters, we have students driving, and you can't stop.
Joanne and Doik Grossman live on Shirey Road in Muncie. For at least the last 2 years, they say the business next door has been pumping water into the road.
I'm always afraid I'm going to hydroplane or somebody else is going to hydroplane into somebody's yard, trees, whatever.
I talked to David Bainey, the owner of Bainey Excavating Construction, and he says the reason why he has to pump is because when there is heavy rain, his gravel pit here fills up with water and eventually floods the garage there where he keeps his tools. He says he's sorry that the neighbors are frustrated, but at this point, it's his only option. Bainey did not want to talk on camera, but tells me this spring he is planning to start construction on a new building on his property. That means he will no longer need this garage and plans to fill up the gravel pit.
We heard that 3 years ago. We heard it 2 years ago. We heard it last year. We heard it last fall. It's not been done.
The city of Muncie's engineer has spoken with Bainey and the Grossmans. He says they are currently working to identify and develop a resolution to this problem. A statement sent to RTV6 says the city is actively working with the city attorney, the Muncie Sanitary District, and the city council, which may need to draft an ordinance to resolve the issue and address concerns brought up by the Grossmans. Working for you in Muncie, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And the business owner tells Nicole when temperatures drop below freezing, he stops pumping the water. But neighbors say that is not the case, and there's often several puddles on the road from when he pumped that caused slick conditions. He also says the wet weather he delayed him in starting construction on the new building. And now we will continue to check in with the city of Muncie to see what developments there are in this situation.
Just a short time ago, the city of Indianapolis approved a zoning change allowing for a new family center and community health clinic at Broad Ripple Park. It's a project that's been a major point of controversy. The current family center will be demolished and replaced with a new facility. It will have a gym, track, fitness area, and primary care facilities for Community Health Network. But some residents say they worry about the impact this project will have on traffic, and they say it's a waste because there's really no need for a new center.
There has been a recent overdevelopment surge in Broad Ripple. Consequently, our beloved park should be a peaceful respite from overdevelopment, a place of refuge.
Indy Parks leaders say they hope to start construction in the next few months.
And let's flash back to that afternoon high at 54 degrees. We'll be as warm tomorrow, if not a little warmer. To the south, temperatures did exceed 60. Where are we at now? 46 and falling. Temperatures in the morning will be quite cool, down to 32. Temperature in northern Indiana already carried into the 30s. Beautiful looking sky this evening. A little colorful sunset is one way to put it as the mid to high level clouds come back. The wind is diminishing and the temperatures settling into the 30s by 11 o'clock tonight. We'll focus on the temperatures tomorrow and the big change for Friday coming up.
Starting next week, you will begin seeing mail from the United States Census Bureau as the 2020 census kicks off. And for the first time ever, you will be able to self-respond online. But for some people living in the Hoosier state, that can be difficult because English is not their first language. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us now with what the city is doing to ease the language barrier and make sure everyone is counted.
Spanish, Burmese, Hakachin, Arabic, and French. Those are the 5 languages you'll see on these pamphlets from Count Me Indy. Count Me Indy has partnered with Luna Language Services to make sure everyone, even those who aren't originally from here, get counted in this year's census. The campaign manager for Count Me Indy says each person who doesn't get counted could cost the city up to $30,000 in federal funding. And she wants to make it clear to everyone that answers are confidential and can't be shared with any agency or level of government for 72 years.
So that can't be shared with the IRS, ICE, even the President of the United States, does not have access to census records. And I really want to emphasize that everyone counts in the census, regardless of citizenship status.
So what are the questions on the census? They want to know your age, birthday, race, ethnicity, phone number, and relationship to the people living in your home. Kennington says there is no question about citizenship. Again, starting next week, you will start receiving mailings from the census on how to self-respond. You can do that on the phone, on the internet, or just by sending back in the paper that they mail you. And if you don't respond by the end of April, that is when a census worker will start knocking on your door. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
And soon, the organization will be hosting events at libraries across the area to help those who do not have access to the internet to self-respond online.
More than 25,000 children are abused and neglected in Indiana each year, and more children continue to pour into the system every day. That's why CASAs are so crucial. Now, CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocate. Today at the State House, hundreds gathered today to celebrate 30 years of CASA programs. Last year, the programs provided 1 million hours of training for 4,500 volunteer advocates.
So these are our community's most vulnerable children, and they need an advocate to help shepherd them through the court process so that their needs are kept at the forefront, so that we're providing all the judges with the most important information that they need in order to make the best decisions for the children that we serve.
If you'd like to learn more information about becoming a CASA in Marion County, visit the Child Advocates website at childadvocates.net.
Coming up, a case that's sure is to spark a national debate. The U.S. Supreme Court hearing a major challenge to abortion rights. Only on RTV6 News.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
The Supreme Court heard arguments today in a case which could ultimately change abortion access in America for years to come.
It is the first abortion-related case to go before Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Neil Gorsuch since the Trump-appointed conservatives joined the High Court. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports.
Impassioned rallies outside of the Supreme Court. While inside, the justices heard arguments on a case that could open the door to limiting access to abortions.
We're here protecting abortion access.
June Medical Services v. Russo focuses on a 2014 Louisiana state law requiring doctors who perform abortions to have admitting privileges with a hospital within 30 miles of a clinic. Opponents saying since most doctors in abortion clinics do not have that access, the case, if upheld, would eliminate the protections of Roe v. Wade.
Their entire goal is to intimidate and close clinics down. These are clinic shutdown laws, essentially. And more importantly, the impact to patients is grave.
But supporters of the law say it's designed to improve patient safety, making sure they have access to a hospital if they need urgent care.
Should we be protecting women who go in to have an abortion? In the pro-life movement, we know every abortion stops a beating heart. One person dies, two people should never die. And so this is a very common sense thing.
The debate inside the courtroom at times explosive as justices heard arguments from both sides and raised questions. Their decision isn't expected until the end of June. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, today is a special day for Alex Trebek. It was exactly a year ago to the day that he stunned the world with the announcement that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Earlier today, the Jeopardy host had an update for his fans, as well as a lot of thank yous. But he also admits there were times he felt as if he couldn't fight on anymore.
But I brushed that aside quickly because that would have been a massive betrayal. A betrayal of my wife and soulmate, Jean, who has given her all to help me survive. It would have been a betrayal of other cancer patients who have looked to me as an inspiration and a cheerleader of sorts of the value of living and hope. If we take it just one day at a time with a positive attitude, anything is possible. I'll keep you posted.
As Trebek pointed out, the 1-year survival rate for the stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosis is only 18%. The 2-year survival rate is 7%. But Trebek says his oncologist told him he's confident they will be marking a 2-year anniversary this time next year.
An Indiana company is doing more than hiring Hoosiers. Coming up, how they are providing their employees with pathways for a better life. Kevin.
This is worth staring at, so let's stare at it. I'll step out. Clouds kind of sliding into the state this evening, but providing a beautiful sunset. We'll talk about our next rain chance coming up.
Prices at Ross. Yes, for less.
Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative works to connect you to jobs, resources, and training to better your career and your life.
And when it comes down to it, most of us are just wanting to work so that we are able to take care of ourselves and our families.
And that's why one Bloomington-based medical device company is providing opportunities for everyone who wants to work to achieve that American dream, no matter what degree you have in hand right now.
I make sure that the products don't have any problems.
Nicole Natali works as an inspector for packaging here at Cook Medical in Bloomington.
They're not going to cause the patient any damage internally.
Cook is a privately owned medical device company employing nearly 12,000 worldwide.
I make sure that they're packaged properly. Nothing's gone wrong from production to shipping them out.
And the company is not only hiring Hoosiers like Nicole, but providing a life-changing opportunity through what's called My Cook Pathway.
I had tried several times to get my diploma through Broadview, kept flunking out, couldn't follow through with it. And then I heard about this, where you could get paid while you did it. You can't pass up that kind of an opportunity.
We started My Cook Pathway several years ago. We realized that there was an obstacle to people coming to work at Cook. Well, our jobs required a high school diploma, and a lot of people just didn't have that.
Pete Yonkman is the president of Cook Group and Cook Medical. He says they've been doing the My Pathway program for 2 years now.
If you look at our region, there are 25,000 people of working age who don't yet have their high school diploma. And what we found with that group of people, and we talked to them, is that they really get stuck in jobs that just don't have a pathway to a career.
People like Nicole, a single mother with 2 daughters and no degree.
We created a program where people could come work in the morning for us, and then we'd pay them to go to school in the afternoon so they could get their high school equivalency.
I jumped on it, and 4 months later, had my diploma, and here I am.
Since the start of the program, more than 200 people have graduated through the high school portion, plus others continue on.
And so we're seeing people going back to school in their 60s, which is fantastic because they're learning new skills and they're helping bring new ideas back to us at Cook.
And for many, like Nicole, it's a big hand up and a chance to break the cycle of poverty.
It's a lifesaver, honestly. If it wasn't for My Cook Pathway, I don't know where I would be. I know I wouldn't have my diploma. I know I wouldn't have this job. I wouldn't have my home. It saved my life, honestly. And it made it to where I can better take care of my children.
She says her 4-year-old asks mommy how her day went, and now she can answer with pride.
Now it's an accomplishment. Besides my girls, it's the greatest thing I've ever done for myself.
Working for you, Lauren Casey, RTV6.
Thank you, Lauren. And Yonkman says they have been meeting with other companies to show them how the pathway works for them. He says it's not only life-changing for people in their local community, but it is cost-effective, and they create a loyal employee base, which is great for their culture. If you want more information on how My Cook Pathway works, or you want to take part in this program, you can learn more by visiting our website at hiringhoosiers.com and just click on this story.
Nice to get a lot of sunshine today as we look at the Storm Team 6 forecast. But Kevin says there is a change on the way.
Well, it's inevitable, right? That's part of spring, these big swings. The temperature Friday will be on that downslope. But by Sunday, we're back to around 60. Nothing lasts long. 46, that's our current temperature. What a great sunset. Hopefully that was your view as well. The wind is out of the northwest. It was at 37 miles per hour at one point this afternoon. That was a peak gust. It's northwest at 12 now. Sunset at 6:41. And just think, this time next week, remember we got the time change over the weekend where we spring forward 1 hour. Thunderstorms to the south. Some of these will be strong. We'll see some clouds streaming in from that weather system. Any severe weather is going to stay south of Tennessee. Good news there as recovery continues in much of central and eastern Tennessee. The storms tonight will be down along the Gulf Coast from Louisiana all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. For us, we're dry tonight and most of tomorrow. A couple of showers may pop up. 42 in Peru, 46 in Columbus. Any metro area temperatures in the mid 40s, at least a couple degrees from 45. will be colder in the morning. Temperatures will start in the low 30s tomorrow morning. The recovery is quick, though. Swift jump into the 40s, and by noon and beyond, temperatures are headed into the mid-50s. This is what I was talking about, what Mark alluded to. There you go. A big drop from tomorrow afternoon to Friday afternoon. We slide down easily, and we'll come back up just as easily for the weekend. Thursday planner. Tomorrow in the afternoon, we'll see a mixture of clouds and sunshine and the potential for a few showers, especially north and east of Indianapolis. The wind will be strong once again. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's the band of clouds that comes in, and a couple of showers likely to develop. We'll wait and see. The computer model may be underplaying it just a bit. Winds out of the warm direction of the southwest and gusting over 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, still a couple of flurries, rain showers, nothing of real consequence. That will move out, and then it's a cold northwest wind to end the work week and a much different feel to the day. Temperatures stuck in the 30s from morning through afternoon. Different story, though, as we go to the weekend. These temperatures that are below average by 10 degrees will be way above average once we end the weekend with partly sunny skies and 60 on Sunday. The more widespread rain returns Monday. 57 degrees, rain likely. Chance for showers still there Tuesday. Even when we cool back down, it's to 45 degrees. All
not as much of a swing.
No.
All right, thank you, Kevin, for that.
We'll be right back after this break.
For $3, get rallies delivered.
With just seconds to spare, New Jersey state troopers pulled a driver from a burning tractor trailer, and it was all caught on camera. The trooper was in the middle of a traffic stop on the interstate when he says the big rig went off the road and burst into flames. The trooper drove quickly to the scene and sprinted to the truck's cab. Another trooper on his way home from work saw the crash and rushed to help his colleague pull the driver to safety. The big rig exploded a few seconds later. The driver was treated for just minor injuries.
The coronavirus outbreak may keep people from getting their hands on a very hot item. Hasbro is the maker of several Star Wars toys, including the Baby Yoda toys tied to the hit show The Mandalorian. But Hasbro has its supply chain is being disrupted by the coronavirus outbreak. That's sparking some fear that later this year there could be shortages of the toys worldwide. In fact, the toy industry in general is worried about slowdowns. Mattel has also warned of shortages of toys made by its factories in Japan. Though we are not close to it yet, this is the time of year when toy production for the holiday season generally starts.
BMW has just revealed a redesigned corporate logo in its first refresh in more than 20 years. Here's the old one there on the left compared to the new one on the right. The new logo ditches the black ring for a transparent circle, and the rest of it, including the typeface, has a flatter and more modern look. And while the blue and white emblem inside the ring remains there, it will be used in BMW's communications, but there are no plans for the new logo to appear on production vehicles. His whole life, he has literally walked in his family members' footsteps.
But tonight he is going where no man has gone before. High wire walker and daredevil extraordinaire Nick Wallenda is preparing to walk an 1,800-foot-long high wire across the crater of a volcano in Nicaragua, one of the most active volcanoes on the planet. It is going to be his highest and longest walk yet. The lava flowing below him reaches up to 2,200 degrees and emits toxic gases. So he will be gearing up with a gas mask and oxygen tank. Instead of his normal wire, he will be using a new and different one. It's 1 inch, and the type of wire is different as well.
Unfortunately, it's not what I'm accustomed to and comfortable with, which is 3/4 or 5/8 of an inch. So this is a little larger. My foot sets on it a little bit more uniquely. This is also a swedged cable, so it makes it almost like a solid bar. Rather than having big ridges like the most cables that I walk on, this one is actually fairly smooth, which is a concern with the residue that those gases emit and how they adhere to this cable, whether it's going to be slippery or not.
The hot walk is just about to happen within the next hour or so. Volcano Live with Nick Wallenda begins coming up here at 8 only on RTV6. Just even thinking about it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Good luck, Nick. Good luck. No, thank you.
Dry tonight, 32 in the morning.
All right. You tightrope walk out of here?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a practice
It's at 11.